Mr. Verua has served the Education Department for 39 years. However, he says the importance of education is not taken seriously in many PNG communities. He believes PNG should start encouraging the younger population to value education for development to take its course.
I saw that education is the power, and Papua New Guinea will only develop if we can increase the number of people with proper education.
Education curriculum changes are necessary because the country is competing with the rest of the world in terms of human resource development. It is also the government's responsibility to ensure the entire population of the country is trained at the highest level and quality of education. The country has gone through a number of education reforms, but the recently removed outcome-based or OBE curriculum has somewhat lowered the standards of education in the country.
While the 40-day direction given to abolish OBE has been amended to adhere, Acting Education Minister James Marape says a new curriculum is expected to be ready within this time for use in 2014. He also says this direction should not be used as an excuse by the Education Department from starting the 2013 school year on time. Marape says the government has already indicated to the department what structure of education they want for PNG.
Within the first half of the 1 year, we will ascertain the facts that has led to us making that call, and then we will put in the correct structure, and I've given an indication on how we as government see as the most relevant structure of our education department that will strongly feature some of the features of the old system that we were in, but will also embrace some of the new positives of the current system and the structure we have, and we will come up with a specially tailored educational structure and educational curriculum that is relevant to a 21st century Papua New Guinea needs.
More than 1/4 of Meden's population live in rural areas. The challenges they face at home often spills over to school. School fee problems, no motivation, lack of guidance and support. Meden province has a total of 1,307 secondary teachers teaching more than 45,000 students. This has resulted in students dropping out of schools, failing exams and not making it into upper secondary and universities. Limited number of teachers is just the first line of problem amongst thousands affecting secondary education in Meden province.
My view, there's not really a lot of materials available for the teachers. It's because it's a private school, there is no funds from the government, and like MCA itself is trying its best to buying whatever teachers need, materials, technology, stuff like that. So for MCA, the materials needed or available for teaching is not enough. It's limited.
School needs a proper facility so that if, for example, if a science student, for example, just well, we don't have a science lab there. Science lab is just also in school. So how can if you proper quality education? Quality education, it comes with the facilities. You also have to have the right facilities in place in your school, and also the teachers which are attentively to attend their lessons from whatever given time that by the government, the education board.
And giving us more activities, more homeworks, to keep us busy doing like extra time, whatever, at home. Where we could have more time to do them, and at the same time, like, teachers gotta be strict in order to, like, for us, teachers gotta be strict, and yeah, that's about it.
Increasing the standard of education is the main goal of the Education Department, the Provincial Education Board, the Provincial Secondary Schools, and a teacher.
That would mean maybe it depends on, again, like I started off with, a teacher and student. It takes two to be able to produce better results. Maybe teachers are doing their part, and if students are not doing their part, then there will be a gap in between them. So it takes two to teacher is doing his part to help a teacher is student has to do his part as well. So compliments.
I live in North Coast and I travel daily to school. And when it's weekend or during the afternoons, I'm at home. And yes, the social problems are causing disturbances to the learning of students in the classroom, because when students leave school and they go home, as soon as they remove the uniform out the gate, they're already into their peer groups, the ones that are at home. And so they get to be in those groups. If there is no social problems, no social gatherings apart from being in school, then students would be more likely to learn a lot and prioritize their studies. If you can see and look around today, there are not a lot of boarding schools. If we have boarding schools, then boarding schools will have students that all have the same interest. The same interest is studies and school, so they will concentrate on schooling. But with boarding day schools like ours in town now, students enter a gates, they are focused into academic standards. But as soon as they leave the gates, they are no longer focusing on education. If you look at the students in the classroom, some of them, only a handful of students will do assignments at home. Most of them will come here and start to complete the assignment too.
Quality education is the backbone of a country's human resource and considered the root to economic prosperity. PNG struggles with specific issues that make quality education difficult. Language barriers for foreign teachers speaking broken English, unreliable resource distribution and delivery of materials to remote areas of PNG, underqualified teaching staff, outdated curriculum, and insufficient equipment and standard-based curriculums.
The province should start from the government to the Division of Education. That will bring it to our teachers, from the division to our teachers who are on the ground teaching, to provide them adequate materials, equipment, and also support them with finance or infrastructure in order to bring in the quality education to our secondary schools.
It's a collective effort from all stakeholders who are concerned in the business of education in this sector. In this case, we need to have political leaders, and their respective schools must be providing, or must providing leadership. Political leaders at national, LLG, ward, and then it comes to the parents, how they can contribute, whether in kind or service. And then maybe administrative staff, we can give we provide them technical advice so that we can source resources to help improve the quality of education. Now, by looking at it, no one is really taking ownership, let alone the principals of schools. They only entirely depend on the TFF fund. TFF fund, to some extent, it's transforming schools now, trying to improve quality of education. All politicians, and that depends from province to province. Long islands, they have their own approach of looking at their schools, secondary schools in particular. In the coastal areas and the first, there are provinces that are very really serious about education development. They pump in not little money, millions and tens of thousands. But in a case of Medina, I haven't seen any political leader putting education as a very serious business. So that's why we are going downward in the education. Quality of education is falling.
A country which is unable to develop the skills and knowledge of its people and to utilize them effectively in the national economy will be unable to develop anything else. Despite these improvements in the system of education in the province, parents and teachers are still questioning the education quality of their students, sons and daughters.
Yes, we are making an attempt to make some improvement on quality education, but because we are trying to arrest the falling education standards created by outcome-based education. So the introduction of standard-based education now is trying to arrest the falling education standards. Now we in a transitional period with the change of curriculum, so quality, at least in the immediate future, I don't think we have improved now. We will still work on it to improve quality education in Medellin province, because the results, grade 8, grade 10 and grade 12 results will give us the picture of how we have progressed. But so far we are out of the first 5, first 10, first 20, first 30 secondary schools and national high schools in the country. If you study probably January, February period where our name list coming out from universities, Medellin has not many going into higher tertiary institutions like universities. Before, yes, about 30, 40 for each university, like the one with 30 from Medellin secondary schools, UPNG, TSM, Unitec, University of Boroka, and other teachers' colleges and nothing. Now, we look at Mumibla, so the results will speak for itself, that we are not making any progress in quality education.
How well can the province improve its education standard?